Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and welcome to my seminar presentation. Now, my name is Muhammad Yusuf Fitri Reshan, page number 2213111. I'm from the Kuliah of Sustainable Tourism and Contemporary Languages of Ireland Bago. Now, why is there a crest or a logo of the club of Manchester United? Well, I'll answer that question in just a bit. Now, looking at the critical discourse analysis that I analyzed, it's called the comparative study of after-match reports on lost and also won football games within the framework of critical discourse analysis. And the two authors of this report was Biog Benham and also Hassan Isaka, both from Iran. Now, this was published on the 1st of January 2015 under the International Journal of Applied Linguistics and also English Literature under the Australian International Academic Centre, and this is the GOI. Now, there's a famous quote in football that says, "Football is a game of mistakes. Whoever makes the fewest mistakes wins." And we must understand that in a game of football, there's always a loser and there's always a winner. But you have to understand that a match report always has to happen. So the study applies critical discourse analysis to examine how match reports of Manchester United club reporters differs when the team wins and also when the team loses. Now, the research investigates framing, tone, and also the discourse strategies used by the club's sport journalists in post-match narrative of the 2013 and also 2014 season. And they want to answer the research questions of, are there any similarities or differences between after-match reports released on a football club's own website on their lost versus their won games? And if yes, what are those similarities and what are the differences? Now, let's actually look at the literature review, and the two authors found out that there was only one study in the previous literature, and this study was written by Rahimi et al., where the critical discourse analysis was titled Discursive Representation of the Winner and also the Loser, the Case of Sports Reports. And unlike Manchester United, they looked into club match reports of Iranian teams, Persepolis, and also Istiklal FC, where they reported 4 types of reports in these two clubs. And we'll talk about the methodology that is used by the two authors, which is that they analyzed 4 match reports through systematical functional linguistics, SFL, to see how the linguistics forms can be related to social and also ideological functions. Now, the linguistic analysis is in terms of grammar, vocabulary semantics, sound system, and also cohesion and organization. Now, when I mentioned that there is 4 match reports, what are the matches? Now, they used a corpus of the Manchester United official website to see these 4 matches, and these 4 matches can be divided into 2. One where Manchester United lost, and one where Manchester United won. So the 2 losses are on the left side, and the 2 wins on the right side, being versus Stoke City and versus Chelsea, where the team lost. And these 2 games, which ended in 2-0 win to Manchester United, is versus Swansea and also versus Cardiff City. Now, these 4 match reports were then analyzed by the 2 authors, and they found out that when a team loses, for this case, they said that Manchester United or any synonym such as the Reds, United, or the Red Devils, they were mentioned as a clause 22 times, compared to Chelsea's 8 times, despite Chelsea being the winning side. Now, they saw that there was also passivization, which means to thematize, which is mentioned by Brown and Mill 1983, which foregrounds Manchester United relation information first. So what it means to foreground something is basically when something should be the background of something, it becomes the foreground, it becomes the main thing. So now, for example, you can see Danny Welbeck shot straight at check. Danny Welbeck is a Manchester United player, and in this case, he shot straight at the goalkeeper. In any normal case, of course, a save would be the most important thing, but in this case, they used Danny Welbeck, a Manchester United player, first. They mentioned the player first. Then you can see that they also use positive adjectives. It's to euphemize the defeat. They exaggerate, they mitigate, and also they euphemize to ideologically control information that is unfavorable to be made less prominent. And we can see that they use adjectives like, for example, unlucky, dominated, and we said carve out more chances. Well, these words are used to soften the blow on the loss. Now, you can also see in another loss, you can see that they use the synonym Manchester United, and any synonyms were mentioned 60 times as opposed to Stoke City, it was mentioned only 7 times. And they also find out that the authors analyzed that the match reports use top localization, which gives prominence to an element through positioning them at the beginning of the sentence. For this case, you can see Manchester United becomes the theme, while Stoke City becomes the green. You can see, for example, Manchester United slipped to defeat at Stoke. United were forced into change. United, the hosts, the Reds. You can see that the clauses of Manchester United is put in the beginning of the sentence to make it feel like they are the theme, while Stoke City, the second theme, is made as the green, which helps to support the theme. Now, let's look at the wins that the 2 wins that they analyzed. And we see in this first report that there was no mention of Swansea City at all. And with this announcement of Manchester United, it was mentioned 24 times. Now, we can see that there's positive self-presentation. The writers use adverbs and also adjectives to modify nouns. In this report, that there are 20 noun adjectives used. So, for example, you can see brightly, delicious, superb, lovely, excellent. You can see that they exaggerate some words, they exaggerate some plays. You can see in this word. And in another win, this reporter, this is a different reporter, they gave more respect to Cardiff City, where they had a 2-0 win over Cardiff, and they said that the visitors were competitive, had a promising run, had clear-cut chances. Now, what does this mean? Well, we can see from their discussion that they found out when a team wins, there's positive self-presentation. The reporters had to control, skill, effort, and often ignore the losing team. For example, we can see in the first match where Manchester United won, they ignored the team. They did not mention Swansea City at all. But in the second report, they mentioned Swansea City. They gave respect to Swansea City. And you can see that there's heavy use of transactional verbs, which is actions done by Manchester United. And both of these reports had rich adjectives and also adverbs to paint a heroic picture to Manchester United. But when a team loses, we can see that they focus their shift to external factors. They use words like injuries, bad luck, weather, referee decisions, and we can see in these terms like unlucky, blustery conditions, is all unfortunate. And we can see that the use of passivization, where they put the topicalization, and passivization, where they put the clause first, where in this case they put United in the beginning, and it removes direct blame. And we can see that the opponent's success is understated or ignored, where the clauses of the winning teams are often less than Manchester United. Now, let's look at the conclusion and what limitations were found in these 2 studies by these 2 authors, where they wanted to actually have more analysis of after-match written football reports by Manchester United to have a clear generalization. And they also wanted a bigger number of analyzed reports from different clubs, leagues, and also nations to reach a stronger conclusion on why reporters do as such. But personally, what I found from this critical discourse analysis is that the authors should have used match reports from the same club journalists of Manchester United instead of using 3 different journalists in the respective 4 match reports. Now, I asked the question of why did I choose Manchester United? Well, I've been a lifetime supporter of Manchester United my whole life, and actually this is me watching a loss by Manchester United in Bukit Jalil. Now, thank you very much. That is all from me. Thank you.